Hello, welcome back to my channel. I've got this one with me.
Hello.
She doesn't know what we're doing. It's a very educational episode of Jen tells everyone what the Yu-Gi-Oh! Slang means. Yes.
Oh, no.
So Jen knows what all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Slang is, and we're going to get a definition from her, especially for all the new players out there. It's going to be very, very educational. There's probably not going to be any ums or ahs from her, because she will just literally give it to you straight away from her experience playing the game. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say a Yu-Gi-Oh! Slang or phrase, and Jen's going to define it for you guys.
Yep.
Because there's no Yu-Gi-Oh! Dictionary, so we are the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dictionary for today.
Is there not? I feel like there should be.
This will be
There's a lot of terminology.
Okay, so the first one is a brick.
Oh, that's when you get your hand and it's just not got very good cards in it.
What is two brick?
It's a variation on the first one, but they have very similar meanings. Where again, it's when you draw your hand at the start of the game, and again, it's just got really bad
bricked.
cards in it.
Really
You've
bad cards.
bricked. You're just completely bricking. You can't really do anything,
Okay.
and it's just not a good start.
What
It's
is
just two different wordings for the same thing.
What is the term foolish? Too foolish.
When you're trying to make a play that is really quite complicated and risky, but you go for it anyway. It's foolish, but you're feeling confident, so you just go for it.
What is meta?
Meta is all of the stuff currently in the game that is relevant. So all of the current good juicy cards and decks that are going on within the Yu-Gi-Oh! Sphere.
What is vanilla?
When someone is really new to the game, they're a bit vanilla. They're not taking many risks because they're new to the game.
What kind of deck do vanilla players play?
Nordic.
Nordic. What is sharking?
When you...
What is going on?
I'm gonna giggles.
What?
When you're watching, spectating, if you will, a game that two other people are playing, and you notice that someone hasn't done something quite right, and so you jump in like a shark, if you will, and point out the mistake, and you're like, hey, no,
That's some serious sharking.
you've done that wrong.
To scoop.
Oh, that's when you are pretty sure you're going to lose the game, and there's no point in wasting your time playing the rest of it, so you just say, a scoop, and you forfeit.
What does tech mean?
Tech is... It's all the really good cards, so you might have your staples in there, or you might have... It's like the staples for a particular type of deck, a particular set, if you will. And I can't know how many times I say if you will in this. So it's like the tech of Pearly is like all these cards that you need. The tech of Kashtira, all these cards. The functionality of the deck.
Okay.
The technical stuff.
Next one. To book.
To book.
Book.
That's an interesting
I'm going
one.
to book.
It's not as interesting. I'm overselling it a bit. To book is when you book in a game with a friend. You're like, hey man,
You want to book?
I want to practice. I want to prepare for this upcoming tournament. Let's get some games in. I want to book some games with you, and you book in a place. So it's like a traditional version of the word book. You'd often like you book in a meeting. Or yeah.
To bubble.
That's when you're so locked into one deck, you won't consider playing any other deck. Not at all. This is my deck. Right here, this is my bubble, and no one can break your bubble with their fancy, crazy new decks.
No. Engine.
That, again, I realised, similar to what I was saying about tech, is the specific cards within a specific deck that do the specific things that deck is specifically supposed to do. Is the engine for the deck, the engine cards within that deck that do the specific thing that deck supposed to specifically do?
Floodgate.
Ooh, when you just flood the board. You flood the board with all of your...
Floodgate.
Oh, sorry, floodgate. That's when...
You anti-flood the board.
The opposite, sorry. 'Cause I misheard you. I thought you said flood. That's when you flood the board with lots of things.
Oh, that's a flood.
The opponent
to
is
flood.
like, there's too many things here for me to deal with. Floodgate is quite the opposite, where you stop the opponent from being able to flood their field. So you're like, hey, I played this card that stops you from special summoning anything or from being able to play any monsters at all.
That's a good one. MST.
MST stands for Magical Super Tech. So, like I said earlier, I explained tech. We all know what that means now because I explained it very well. So Magical Super Tech is essentially just the more magical and super version of tech.
Body.
Body is when you absolutely destroy someone. You body that opponent with your amazing skills and your powerful deck. You're just like, oh yeah, I body you. And they're like, ow!
The out.
Just draw the out.
There we go.
Your opponent has played a particularly difficult card that stops you from doing a lot of things, such as Mystic Mine. And you just have to draw the out, which is the card that can get around their awkward card or destroy it or...
Hey, good job. OP.
Overpowered.
Oh, there we go. Honest. When something has an
That's a card.
Honest effect.
That's the name of a card.
Yes.
So it's when a card has a very similar or the same effect as the card Honest.
What is the effect?
Well, everyone knows what Honest does. It's a very famous card.
And we are here to educate you. So
oh, well, they probably already know what it does.
We're here to educate you via Jen's giant dictionary head.
Well, the card Honest, what it does is you play it and the other person has to be honest with you and show all of the cards that are face down on their board. Oh. They have to flip them over.
They have to be honest.
Because they have to be honest and say, well, okay, so these trap cards are these trap cards.
Yeah.
And they have to show you. So Honest, what was it? Honest, the honest effect.
Yes.
Is when something does similar to that. Makes you reveal your cards and be honest about what you have.
Mirror.
So there's often a phrase used called mirror match, which is like if two people are playing the same deck against each other, which is wild when that happens. Of course, mirror is a similar thing, but it might be a mirror card, it might be you just have to play the same card around the same time, or maybe you're playing against the exact same person and they're a mirror of you. Who knows?
Net deck.
Net deck is when you go to the internet, look at a deck, and build it as it is shown.
Do you net deck?
Not really, no.
No.
I build most of my decks, my Yu-Gi-Oh decks, obviously.
And what about Tier 0? What does Tier 0 mean?
Tier 0, again, similar kind of vein to Meta. Tier 0 is the label for all of the stuff that is currently viable to play with. The current, like the really good top decks at the moment.
Lone Fire.
You make a play that absolutely destroys the one space on the opponent's play. So when you'll learn as you're learning Yu-Gi-Oh, there are like specific spaces on your field that you can play cards in. You put an effect into place on one of those spaces so that anything that is in play in that space or will be played into that space gets absolutely destroyed. Fire, but
A regular effect in different archetypes. Rogue.
a character in X-Men. Don't know why that's relevant here. When someone goes rogue
Okay.
within a game, they suddenly pull out a card that you weren't expecting. You know, they're playing Fire Kings.
Yes.
They're obviously playing a Fire Kings deck. Everything's on fire, and they're the king of it. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, they whip out a Pearly card. Why is that in there?
Yeah.
They've gone rogue. What's happening?
Rotor.
Rotor is the rotor of the sets that goes through. You get the new set, and then one of the old sets goes out of the rotor. It's
Rotor is it an acronym?
okay, so it stands for rapid oscillating tech affirmation.
Okay. What was that again? Sorry?
Rapid oscillating tech affirmation.
Okay.
Well, oscillating is a type of movement.
Yes.
So they're moving through their tech cards rapidly, obviously with quick speed, and they're affirming it as they do it. They're like, I know exactly what I'm doing. The opponent's like, haha, what's going on here? There's too much. And they're like, haha, I know exactly what I'm doing. Thank you very much. Rotor.
But can you explain to me the process of a rotor? Of like when you let's say you're playing
rapidly oscillating tech affirmation.
Yes.
Okay, in layman's terms. Sorry, no offense. I'm being such a d- in this video. It's like a variation on milling, but it's very crafted. It's very deliberate. It's very.
I'm so lost. Anyway, I think I might need to.
I think you're a lost cause.
But I hope you've enjoyed learning slang, Yu-Gi-Oh! Slang with Jen. Like and subscribe. See you later. Bye.